This Saturday on Twitch at 1 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/Big D Geekdom 101. We'll be giving y'all a special presentation revisiting Dragon Ball Z in HD. We've gotten to the Super Saiyan transformation episodes 93, 94, and 95. We're going to watch them in high definition with the original broadcast audio. I got tons of tidbits for y'all. Watch Dragon Ball Z with me Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I look forward to seeing you there. It's always a blast. So yesterday was my first video back in quite some time, and I didn't think I would be coming back with another video this soon, but there's actually some really interesting information coming out of the world of Dragon Ball that I'm excited to share with all of you. Finally, somebody from Dragon Ball is talking about what may be coming next. So first of all, before I go any further, I did do a video yesterday. If you haven't checked it out, in that video I discussed about Super Saiyan 4 and some of the stuff that was discussed in the recent Dragon Ball Daima Blu-ray box set book. It comes with a special book that has a bunch of interviews in it and character bios. Also, keep an eye out for my X and Instagram accounts because I'll be dropping some images from that book today so you guys can look at some of the stuff from behind the scenes that's in the book. Cool stuff, man. It's awesome to see how that show kind of came together, you know, with the artists and everything. But I talked about how, you know, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, it was confirmed that Neva's magic unlocked the form, which people were arguing that, and I guess they misunderstood when Goku said he was training for it. He was training to unlock something new, didn't know what it was. That's what he said in episode 20, but Neva's magic is the one that caused that mutation. But it was revealed also that Goku, basically he should still have access to Super Saiyan 4. Why wasn't it seen in Dragon Ball Super? Well, we know the real reasons because Daima was made after Super, but as of right now, we have not been given an explanation as to why Goku does not use Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball Super. There's obviously a lot of theories and speculation. Some think that Daima's in a different continuity. Hopefully that gets answered soon. But I want to first give credit to Enomus/Venixis because this information is coming from him. This is from a new interview with Akio Iyoku discussing the future of Dragon Ball. First of all, I want to say that I'm going to link the entire interview down below if you want to hear the entire thing. He talks about sort of how the project came together and what his job was as the liaison for it. But he does comment that there is a new Dragon Ball project that's being worked on, or at least that's coming. I don't know if it's actually being worked on yet, but they're certainly discussing things. And I'm going to get to that in just a minute here. There's two things I want to highlight from this video. So make sure you stay all the way to the end because I'm going to go through everything for you. And by the end, you'll know kind of what's going on. One of the things that they talk about here is the transformation from Super Saiyan 3 to Super Saiyan 4. Remember that awesome sequence at the end of episode 19? Some say it's the best scene in Daima, where Goku, when he's an adult, does the Super Saiyan 3, and then he goes from that to Super Saiyan 4, and it was Yuya Takahashi that animated it, and it was just awesome. It turns out that the part where Goku rips his gi off, apparently that was Toriyama's idea. So, it was so badass, man. That was like, for me, the highlight visually of Dragon Ball Daima, even though that whole Goma fight just looked crazy visually. It was wild. Daima is not perfect at all, but it definitely looked good. And in this interview, and I'm giving you the summary because, like I said, you can read the whole thing if you want to. I'll link it to you. But I'm just going to give you the cliff notes of things you might find important. He does discuss being the liaison between Toriyama and Toei, and that he was involved in a lot of this work. Now, yesterday, we also confirmed in the video I dropped that Capsule Corp Tokyo is involved in Dragon Ball. Capsule Corp Tokyo is Akio Iyoku's company, and if you remember, we've been discussing here on this channel that Iyoku, at the request of Toriyama, started a company so he can kind of take the reins of Dragon Ball anime and Dragon Ball video games and be involved in working on those sides of the story. Iyoku used to be a huge name in Shueisha. He was an editor there, but now he has his own company with his goals being to produce more Dragon Ball like anime and games. Or at least when I say anime, I don't mean like anime TV shows. I mean just stuff that's like animation that includes movies. He wants to kind of take the reins of that. And now we are actually seeing Capsule Corp Tokyo get credited in Sparking Zero. It was credited in, I believe, one of the recent Xenoverse DLCs. And in one of the, I think Dokkan, he's also credited, or it might have been Legends, but he's definitely, Capsule Corp Tokyo is involved now. Like this whole like behind the scenes like struggle for the rights appears to either have been resolved or is close to being resolved, because Capsule Corp Tokyo is being listed. Again, I went over that yesterday. Now, this is the part that I think people are clicking the video to see. So Iyoku was asked, this is the last question, please say a word to all the Dragon Ball fans. And Iyoku says, did you enjoy watching Dragon Ball Daima? Well, some did and some didn't. It was very polarizing. Following this work, of course, we are currently working hard to move various things forward. The Dragon Ball series will continue from here on as well, so everyone, by all means, please keep looking forward to it. So he keeps telling people to be patient and wait because there's more coming. Now, I'm gonna be real, man. A lot of people are not very patient, and I can't even blame. I'm not even gonna blame the fans for this because it's not their fault. Like this, it feels like they're kind of, dragging their feet along with this, but there should be a reason, and I'm sure it'll come out eventually about what's really going on. And maybe they were still, discussing the behind the scenes thing, and maybe it got resolved earlier this year and nobody said anything. The thing you have to understand about the Japanese culture and Japanese people is that a lot of the behind the scenes arguments and disagreements, and I guess you can call it tea, it never goes public. It's very, very rare for it to go public. I remember doing the video a couple years ago. I did a video called "Where is Dragon Ball Super? Why Dragon Ball Daima?" And in that video, I discussed about how Akio wanted to continue more anime projects. Shueisha said no, and that's where the Daima idea came from. When I was, talking to people about Daima, a lot of people inside were shocked that I even knew that information. I didn't know details of that. Like I had no idea like what really was going on in details. I just knew that was a situation where Akio wanted more anime. He was the one that was kind of leading the charge on producing more Dragon Ball. So and for better or for worse, he relies on nostalgia a lot, but it's hopefully in the future we'll get more creative stuff. But the point is that Akio himself in this interview is claiming that there's something else coming and that they're working hard to move various things forward. Now, I don't know if that means a movie, an anime. He's not involved in the manga. That is Shueisha. So we may get an update on that later this year or maybe early next year. I don't know. I think a lot of people think because next year is the 40th anniversary of the Dragon Ball anime. It started February 26, 1986 is when the Dragon Ball anime began. I think some people think there might be something that's going to get announced for next year, or maybe a movie or something. There was a movie rumor that I covered the rumor sometime last year, I think, like right around this time last year, but I just basically said there wasn't enough information to substantiate it and that it should just be classified as a rumor. This could be that, But the fact that he says, I do want to clarify this, the fact that he says Dragon Ball series will continue from here on as well. He didn't say Daima, he didn't say Super. So whatever that means, he's talking about the Dragon Ball franchise as a whole. So he's not giving away if it's going to be another season of Daima or another movie or a Super movie or anime or special. He's not giving any of that away. He's just saying more Dragon Ball. So this is from the guy who is pretty much now in charge. You know, with the passing of Toriyama, Sasuke Toriyama is in charge of Toriyama's estate, but it's Akio that's going to be sort of the figurehead of where this series goes in the future. So at least he's commenting on that, and that might be why they haven't just straight up said that Dragon Ball's over, because I've been waiting for somebody to just come out and say, okay, with Toriyama's passing, this is done. But once again, here we have the executive producer saying we're moving things forward. When I find out what it is, or if something breaks, I'll do a video on it. I promise. You don't need to ask me, hey, is there any news or anything? Because if there is, I guarantee you I'll make a video on it like I did right now. I'm not going to leave you hanging. Anyways, y'all, let me know in the comments what you want to see next, and I'll catch y'all real soon. Take care of yourself.